Hey guys, I've been asked by a few people on how to set up a Taranis for use with the DRL Simulator, so I figured I'd make a quick video and hopefully it'll help somebody out.
Going to rip!
So I already have a profile set up here, but let's go ahead and make a new one. Hopefully I can do this with one hand while also watching a camera. Alright, so let's go. You'll scroll down to an open area here and just long click on your enter button and create a new model. And we can go ahead and say that we want an airplane. Yes, it has an engine, page, 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 page. And we will long press to confirm. Alright, now we can jump on into that model itself with the page button after it's selected. If it's not selected, you just long press and you'll have an option to select, but ours is already selected. So we'll hit page. You can go ahead and name it there, just like any other model. The important things we need to do are at the very bottom of the list. So we can just hit up or plus over there. We can hit plus and go ahead and, come on phone, focus, cool. We will tell it that we want the mode to be off. So we've got internal RF off, we've got external RF off, and we should be all set there. Now we'll go on to the next page. Flight modes we don't need, inputs we don't need to mess with. But here on the mixer page, we want to add a couple of new things here if you want the new features. Actually, honestly, my setup doesn't even have these. So it is not necessary. This is optional, but if you want it, you can definitely have it here. So we will go ahead and press that. You can name it if you'd like, and we'll just select source, and then now click up here on this one, okay? And you will notice that our source just became SH. All right, now we'll hit exit, exit again, and we're gonna do that same process one more time. So we'll just hit down, and select our source, and I'm going to use this one up here, SF, and you'll notice that it just changed to SF. So exit, exit one more time, and that's it. That's all she wrote. That's all we have to do on Taranis side of things. You can name it, you can set fancy pictures, you can adjust all sorts of things like your input directions left or right or whatever, but we can do almost all of that on the computer side of things as well. So just one quick other thing that throws people off, it throws me off every so often, is the USB port on the Taranis is a little bit tricky. If it's plugged into USB, so notice it's on right now, I'll go ahead and plug it into USB. If I can grab this cable. USB port is right here. All right. And now I go ahead, I poked a button on the front. Now I go ahead and turn it off. You'll notice that it's still very much on. If I move the sticks around, it's still functioning, which is a little bit strange. Turning it on and off does absolutely nothing at all. If it is on and we go ahead and we'll unplug it, we can now turn it off and it actually turns off. A similar thing that's kind of strange with the Taranis is if it is plugged in and it's off, and now you go to turn it on, we don't get that Mr. Steel scream. I get nothing. It doesn't turn on. So we need to make sure that we unplug the thing. Then we can turn it on and everything's happy. I didn't set any of the crazy switch warnings or anything like that. There's lots of other videos on how to properly set up a Taranis that you can check out if you're having issues with that, but should be all set. All right, we've got our controller set up and everything is good. So I already had DRL Sim set up before I plugged it in on purpose to show you one interesting thing. My computer with Windows 10 happens to come with this unified virtual HID thing. I have another video on this in more detail on how to make this go away, but I did want to just let you know that it will probably default to that if you start DRL without your Taranis plugged in first. So we will have to go ahead and exit and then relaunch DRL Simulator here. If you have that happening consistently, or when you launch DRL, it's using that even when your Taranis is on, go check out my other video. I will throw a link to it here on the screen, and you'll love it. Cool, so let's go ahead and launch this up, and we can jump into setting up this new profile that we've got on the Taranis. Now that we started DRL Sim after the Taranis was already plugged in, you will notice it says Frsky Taranis down here instead of that unified HID thing. So let's actually set it up in game. We'll jump over into settings, choose controller, and I do already have one built for my other profile, but let's make a new one right now. Create new. We're going to select the Taranis and go ahead and hit next. So it's going to say wiggle the sticks to detect. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and center the sticks. All right. If you don't center the sticks, it won't know where center is for your sticks, and you'll end up with endpoints that are incorrect. So definitely don't skip this step. Now move the left stick up and down. So I'm going to move my throttle bottom to top, and make sure you're hitting the extremes all the way so that it knows where the endpoints are supposed to be. Now we will do our yaw back and forth, back and forth. All right. Pitch back and forth. And finally roll. Now we can do this one switch over here for reset, and another one for restart over here. If you happen to have your transmitter that's just off a little bit from center points, or they're kind of twitchy and moving around a little bit, you can either adjust some of those settings inside the Taranis. Again, there's lots of other videos on YouTube on how to deal with that. Mine looks pretty good. Looks like center on the screen, and the sticks are centered here, so I'm not going to do any dead zone at all. And this last page here is really helpful just in case you have one of your channels inverted or something like that. So we'll check each of our channels. Notice that throttle at the bottom is at the bottom and top is at the top. Yaw is working correctly. Left is left and right is right. Pitch and roll. And we've got reset and restart. So those are all perfect. If you happen to have, like, when you move to the right, your yaw actually moves to the left on the screen, you would just go ahead and click that for invert. And now notice when I move right, it moves left, and when I move left, it moves right. So that'll fix that for you if you ever run into that issue. And that's it. We will say complete. That's the one we're going to run with. Go back to the main menu, and let's just check that it works. We'll jump into freestyle of Gates of Hell, and hopefully everything should be a-okay. There we go. So that was restart the race with that button. We'll move the drone over here and restart the drone. Perfect, that one works. Throttle up, pitch forward, pitch back. We got our roll and our yaw, and so everything is good. Happy flying. I'll see you on the leaderboards.